Hey, what's going on, y'all? Eric Mulder here with Cobra Conversations. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be going over the recent shooting that took place here in Vegas, where the suspect attacked an officer with a screwdriver, attempted to stab her at a local gun range. And I'm sure you can only imagine that it didn't end well. So we're going to fire up this video, and I will do as I usually do. I'll pause it here and there, and I'll offer my comments.
Additional details as we know them today about the officer-involved shooting that occurred on Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. The date, time, and type of call was February 3rd, 2021 at 11:59 a.m., and it was an attempt grand larceny. The location of the OIS was the 5900 block of Dean Martin Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89118, which is in the Spring Valley Area Command, and you can see the scene of the map to my left.
I just have to pause one more time here. How dumb. I know we haven't gotten far in, but how dumb do you have to be to decide that you are going to get violent with a police officer at a gun range? I'm sorry. Like, you have to be. There's probably something wrong with this guy. Once they get into the details of his background, you'll probably agree with me that he had some issues, that he had some deeper issues, in particularly with law enforcement.
Pronounced Wynn. He is 34 years old and has been with LVMPD since 2018. In this incident, Officer Wynn was armed with a Glock Model 45 9mm handgun equipped with a tactical light. The investigation revealed he fired 9 rounds during the incident. Our suspect is a Marvon Payton Jr. Spelling is up there. He's a 27-year-old black male adult, 5 feet 11 tall, and weighs 170 pounds.
Now, I can't say for sure whether I've dealt with Marvon in the past, but he sure as heck looked familiar when I saw him. Dude looked like somebody that I ran into over the years, but I can't be 100% sure.
His criminal history. Mr. Payton does have a criminal history of being violent with police officers, which include the following charges: attempt murder in North Las Vegas PD, battery on a protected person, North Las Vegas PD.
Battery on a protected person is typically someone who's in law enforcement. It could be another first responder, like a EMT or firefighter, someone along those lines, but primarily a protected person or protected class in an incident like this is a police officer, from my experience.
Attempt robbery of a firearm, North Las Vegas PD, and assault on a protected person. And all of those incidents were violence against the police.
Oh, well, he clarified right there. Every time this guy has had a violent encounter, it's been against a police officer. So he clearly has issues with law enforcement for whatever reason.
Our suspect's weapon, he was armed with a screwdriver. Mr. Payton's charges, had he survived the incident, was attempt murder on a protected person, attempt grand larceny of a firearm, and resisting a public officer with deadly weapon. Details of the OIS. On Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021, at approximately 11:59 a.m., the LVMPD Dispatch Center received an attempted grand larceny call at a gun range located at the 5900 block of Dean Martin Drive. The person reporting stated that a black male adult, later identified as Marvon Payton, had tried to steal a gun that was inside a customer's bag. The caller stated the employees would be standing by with Mr. Payton outside upon the officer's arrival. At approximately 12:27 p.m., dispatch was called again and advised that Mr. Payton was now becoming aggressive and had threatened the employees. Officer Wynn and his partner arrived in the parking lot of the business approximately 12:47 p.m. and attempted to contact Mr. Payton. Officer Wynn and his partner instructed Mr. Payton to stand in front of their patrol vehicle. Mr. Payton ignored those instructions and started to walk away while hiding his right hand in his jacket pocket.
Never a good sign, y'all. Any of y'all that have listened to me for any length of time knows that I often reference how the hands can kill. An officer needs to be in control of the suspect's hands at all times, or at the very least know where they are and know what they are in possession of. And if they can't see that, and if they can't see the suspect's hands or know what he's carrying, then that is a problem that they need to rectify immediately, as quickly as possible.
Officers attempted to grab Mr. Payton, but he pulled away and still refused to listen to the officers. Officers attempted to grab Mr. Payton by his arms once again to gain control of him. This time, Mr. Payton pulled away and produced a screwdriver from his pocket and violently attacked the officers. Mr. Payton made several.
Now, I want to clarify something as well, and you'll see it in the video once he engages the officer. People may wonder, well, a screwdriver isn't a knife, and they may wonder why the officers and the citizens responded with deadly force. A deadly force isn't just needed when there's a threat of death. It isn't just that. It can also be where there's a threat of death and substantial bodily harm. And who's to say that a screwdriver can't kill someone? If you penetrate the eye, the ear, the neck, if you hit an artery, it could be game over. It could be lights out. But I just wanted to clarify that, just in case there was anybody out there who might have been questioning why they escalated to deadly force. Because believe it or not, you get all kinds of responses when I make videos like this.
Overhand strikes with the screwdriver towards one of the officer's head and neck area. Mr. Payton was able to stab one officer during his violent attack. As the injured officer fell to the ground, Officer Wynn and 3 employees of the business discharged their firearms, striking Mr. Payton. Officers immediately summoned medical personnel, but Mr. Payton succumbed to his injuries at the scene. Through the course of the investigation, it was learned that Mr. Payton went into the gun range and walked around the main lobby, then proceeded to the concealed carry weapons classroom, CCW. The students were taking a break in the classroom when Mr. Payton entered the room and began rifling through a bag, which contained a handgun that belonged to one of the students. The owner of the bag was able to prevent the gun from being stolen, and Mr. Payton was escorted out of the classroom at that time.
Once again, not the brightest guy. You got to wonder, did he have a mindset of suicide by cop? Who knows?
An employee spoke to Mr. Payton for several minutes trying to figure out what he was doing in the gun range. A short time later, another employee called police to report the attempted grand larceny. 3 employees escorted Mr. Payton outside of the business and waited for officers to arrive. At this time, I will now show you surveillance video from the officer-involved shooting. This first video is actually from the classroom, and
in case anyone is wondering, there's no violence. You don't actually see him being shot. You see what's about to take place up until that point. So
Payton is sitting, he's right here, wearing a black and yellow jacket, and a bag is underneath of one of the students. And again, they were on break at that time, so everybody was coming back into the classroom from the class break.
Nice mask right here. I just wanted to point that out. My man's rocking that serious, I have no idea, handkerchief / mask. Too funny. Okay, now this is Payton. And this is the owner of the bag. Now I'm wondering what my man here, if y'all can see my mouse, I'm wondering what my man here was thinking. Have you been in this class for any length of time? And you're gonna just see some strange dude come walking up and start rifling through someone else's bag. Maybe he assumed that the other guy gave him permission to go into the bag. I don't know. But it's like, come on, man. You just gonna sit there and do nothing while old boy is just digging, the guy that wasn't even in the class is digging through someone else's bag. he probably was afraid of offending a black man and ending up on TV like a racist. And dude's over there pushing his bag away like it's his. He tripping.
This here is the actual video, surveillance video from the business, in which the shows the officer's arrival and the actual OIS. And he's standing down here at the lower portion of the screen.
That's Peyton right here in the yellow and black and white top. Things happen very quickly. Things escalate so quickly, and you can see what the amount of force that he has behind those swings, those stabs with that screwdriver. And the officer immediately goes down. And you see people getting ready to respond already. Right here, the officer is on it. Her partner, Wynn, and this guy right here is getting ready to get on it. Yeah, that's my man had zero chance. They were all ready. He had zero chance. Let me back it up just a little bit here and to see how things went down upon the officers attempting to gain control of him. I'll slow it down a little bit.
And he's standing down here at the lower portion of the screen.
I give it to the citizens, the owners of the range, because they're making sure that this guy doesn't go anywhere. They're watching him, ensuring that things are as peaceful or as in control as can be until Metro arrives. So big props to them. So clearly they're giving them commands. They're pointing. They're probably telling them to get to the front of their vehicle, and he's just walking away. Backing up, hand in his pocket. Now, I've seen some people that were very critical of the officers. And, man, these things happen so fast. As soon as they arrived, he got up and started walking. One more time, let me back up. When he sees them show up, he's up, he's on his feet.
And he's standing down here at the lower portion of the screen.
And he starts to walk away. Hands in his pockets. And then they don't waste time in attempting to engage and confront him. And I've heard, and if you think about it, the facility is right, the range is right behind them. So going on gun may not have been the best way to handle the situation. Plus, you have the citizens, the owners, right here. I can't be critical of her tactical response. One of the 4 firearm safety rules is being able to identify and isolate your target and its surroundings. So good job from my perspective so far. Her partner is immediately attempting to assist her in controlling the suspect. And there it is. He's got it in his hand right above his head, clearly. And man, he's swinging, radio down. I mean, those can be some serious injuries there. I think she's okay. But man, those guys right there, that response was phenomenal. And the officer would have handled it because you see her partner, Wynn, is addressing the threat with the appropriate amount of force. But man, these citizens, these citizens here, their engagement was amazing. And it's a good thing to see. Now, there is an issue here, I think, potentially, because if she gets up, I'm not exactly sure where she is in correlation to the suspect. There can be a definite issue with him potentially shooting her. So if you're ever in a situation like this, just be very careful and very mindful of your target, being able to isolate your target, to be able to address the threat with as little likelihood as you putting someone else at risk. But what are y'all thoughts on this video? If you had to be critical, did you see something maybe I missed? Or just share with me your overall thoughts. And what do you think of the response? Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and share my videos with anyone you think may benefit from them. In the meantime, stay safe, God bless, and make sure you join the conversation.